Hello, my name is Abigail Kortokrax, and I am a second-year master's student in the Department of Agronomy at Kansas State University. Today, I will be talking about the development and evaluation of a component phosphorus index for the state of Kansas. Background into our P indices was first proposed in 1992 to 1993 because of water quality issues. Every state developed different guidelines on tools that rate the potential for PLOS and agricultural runoff. So these are tools like the additive index, which was the first generation, second generation multiplicative index, third generation would have been like as a component index. Background on our Kansas phosphorus index. So this is a multiplicative index, which is used as a planning tool in a qualitative risk assessment. So our basic general structure of our multiplicative index is where we have the addition of all of our source factors. They're multiplied by the addition of all of our transport factors to get an overall risk assessment. Some issues with the Kansas phosphorus index is the original authors of the P index recognized that weighted factors were arbitrarily selected. So these are things like soil test phosphorus or our runoff component. So in addition to that, our P indices must zero out at some point. So we need to have like an environmental threshold. A common question we get is why can't we just update the multiplicative index? This is because by separating out all of our source and transport factors is overall inconsistent with how process-based P models describe P loss. Our objective for this research is to develop and evaluate a new approach to the P index, determine coefficients to the components of the revised P index. So methods that were updated in this research are runoff component, which used long-term average annual runoff which was estimated with a modified curve number approach by Guzwa in 2018. Other methods that components that were updated were our application method and timing component, as well as our coefficients to all of our components. And to do that, we used multiple linear regression in SAS. So overall, we got our component phosphorus index now, and this is basically a modification of our multiplicative index, where each one of our components represents a specific combination of source and interconnected transport factors. So looking into our graphs and our results and discussion section, we see that our multiplicative index, R squared of 0.41, and then our new component phosphorus index with all of our new revised components and our coefficients, we get overall better relationship with R squared of 0.82. Going into issues with the Kansas phosphorus index or runoff component. So the P index uses runoff classes to estimate the transport of runoff rather than a qualitative risk assessment. So when looking at this map, we get 4 different soil series. And basically, if you use the same cropping management practice within each one of these different soil series, you will have the same P loss risk factor using the current index. When we updated our runoff component, our phosphorus index rating increases linearly with increase in runoff. It follows the precipitation gradients. So next, issues with our soil test phosphorus component. This uses, it's just not continuous, and it uses a categorical index of 1 to 10. It's a problem because, if we have a soil test P of 2,000 per million, it would have the same index rating as something as like 201 parts per million. So then you can see it's very a step ladder type of figure. So then with our updated and improved soil test phosphorus, we can see that our P index rating, our phosphorus index rating increases linearly with increased soil test phosphorus. So overall improvement. In our conclusion and our future steps, the component index is a better relationship with average P loss than our multiplicative index. And then the component P index was sensitive to changes in precipitation and runoff, adjusting for different precipitation gradients. Then our component P index results increased with increase in soil test P. So basically our future steps would include going through this new component phosphorus index and validating it with data across different locations of Kansas. And that is my research. Thank you for listening.